What's up guys, DuArktik with another Marvel Strike Force video, and today we are back on the Arctic Circle aerial carrier, and we're gonna take a look at some more counters. This time we're going to take a look at New Avengers, which is probably the newest Alliance Wars team that we have, that is required also for a legendary character unlock, Green Goblin. So this team is quite popular. And while you don't need them at massive sizes, if you face some, those big ones, those big new Avengers, they can be quite problematic. So once again, we are going to take a look at different ways, alternative ways that you can use right now in order to beat this team. And this is during the superiority complex season that we have going on in Alliance Wars. It might be different in the future, so always make sure you check out my Discord or my videos for new updates on this topic. So as always, if you like the information on these videos, make sure you share it with your friends on Facebook and Discord. If you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe for more Marvel Strike Force content, and make sure you smash that like button like a boss. Okay, so once again, we are going to take a look at the new Avengers, and I'm gonna face the biggest team that I have on my alliance, and that's pretty much it. So make sure you pay attention to the size of the team, to the size of the characters, and the ISO weight, because depending on what you are facing, it might be slightly different. So try to minimize so you get the same outcome. So here we go. For the first match, we are going to take a look at Kang Web with Dormammu, and you can see that the size of the new Avengers is very big. So if it works for a big team, it should also work for a smaller team, but make sure you test it out with your own characters to see it's working for you or not. In terms of the ISO weight, I'm using pretty much the generic ISO weight. You should use Noir as a skirmisher. I'm just using him as a striker because it's convenient now to use it in Cosmic Crucible, and I didn't change it. And Dormammu, I use him as a fortifier, but you don't really need him as a fortifier because he's not going to have any turns or so it doesn't really matter what he does. Okay, so typical stuff, we are going to use the ultimate of Spider-Man 2099, we are going to use the ultimate of Spider-Weaver, and with Noir, you want to use his special. So he's going to get a free turn and also clear away all the evades that Tigra has. Because of the charges on Spider-Weaver, you can freely attack on the enemy side without having to worry about the enemies attacking you. It stops the ultimate from Coulson, it stops the ultimate from Mockingbird, and at this point we're going to start smacking the enemies with Kang. In my opinion, you should use the Kang special just to make sure that you get some evades. So whenever the enemies attack, you're going to be able to dodge those attacks. So you can see right here, Kang was able to dodge the ultimate from Tigra, and that's going to be very important. Okay, now Spider-Weaver is going to use her special, is going to buff the allies, also deal some damage to the enemies. Tigra goes under stealth, the enemies attack and so on. Spider-Weaver dies, that's fine, we still have the charges from her. Kang has a stun, which is definitely a problem, but I don't think there is any way you can avoid that. And now we are going to try to attack as close as possible to the enemy Mockingbird. So she's going to heal up soon, and you don't want to do that, so make sure you smash her in the face with your Spider-Man 2099 and finish her off. Okay, so now we are out of the stun. We have once again charges to attack the enemies. So let's attack maybe Agent Coulson. His special can be quite annoying. Spider-Weaver was blinded, so it didn't land, but that's fine. And soon Kang is going to do his ultimate, and guess what? Everyone is pretty much going to die. And Kang didn't even revive, so we had plenty of chance to clap the enemies thanks to that. Okay, so here it goes. Kang. Okay, Noir goes first. Okay, Noir, show off. Okay, there you go. Noir clearing away some more of those evades on the enemies. And now the ultimate of Kang cannot be avoided. So there you go. You clean house with his BFG. Big fucking gun. Let's take a look at the second alternative way of beating new Avengers. Once again, 2 million power new Avengers, and we are going to use Absorbing Man with Apocalypse. Then you want to have your Phantom X, Gambit, and Rogue. The position of the team is extremely important. You want to have Absorbing Man in one corner and Rogue in the other corner. And you need the Phantom X, so he gives evades to Rogue, so Rogue does not get turning winded. So let's get started. There is a little bit of RNG to this match, and if your Apocalypse is too big or too small, you might not be able to do it. But once again, make sure you test it out against the teams you usually face. So if you are facing teams that are not 2 million power, maybe it's not going to be a problem for you. So all of the enemies attacked, and you can see that Rogue did not get turning winded because of the evades from Phantom X, and that means that she'll be able to turning wind Tigre, and that turning wind alone is going to be enough for you to win. Okay, so now Rogue is taunting. Now we are going to do the special with the Gambit. I think the special is better over the other ones because you have a higher chance of getting evades on your team. Now we are just going to use the ultimate of Rogue to clear some positive effects on the enemies. Apocalypse has speed up, so he's gonna go soon. With the Phantom X, you can use the basic or the special, it doesn't really matter, but I like to save the ultimate to use against the enemy characters because that allows them to remove more evades. With this guy, with Absorbing Man, you can use his ultimate to heal him up, or you can use the special in order for him to get taunted. I always find that getting more taunts is more convenient, so the enemies don't just hard focus on Apocalypse, and it comes down to reduce the amount of RNG as much as possible. Okay, so here we go. Let's clap the enemies with Apocalypse. Most of them get deleted. The ones that do not get deleted, they get very close because of the amount of bleeds they have. Asian Coastal now with the special. Okay, that's fine. Tigre with a big ultimate, which is also fine. Rogue and Phantom X should be able to finish it off. Let's go. Basic now with Rogue. She gets deleted. She had all those evades, but she still gets deleted somehow. I don't know exactly how it works. Maybe the basic is unavoidable, but there we go. Unlimited with Apocalypse deleting new Avengers. Now we have the third alternative way of beating new Avengers, which is with SinisterSix. Pretty standard SinisterSix. You have Green Goblin, Dr. Octopus, Kraven, Mysterio, and Vulture. And this team is amazing against the new Avengers. It makes this match super easy. But you need to have this specific setup of Kraven and Mysterio and so on to stop the enemies from gaining immunity, to stop the enemies from being able to apply ability block to your team, to stop a bunch of things. And of course the size of the characters also matters, so keep that in mind. If you are using small SinisterSix, you might not be able to delete 2 million power new Avengers. Okay, so here we go. Green Goblin with his ultimate, applying trauma to everyone. We are going to use the special of Vulture to apply slow to Mockingbird. If Mockingbird is not behind Tigre, it's not a big deal. You are going to apply slow to whichever character is there. Then with Mysterio, we are going to apply that Disrupt. And now the enemies, they cannot go under stealth. We are going to use all those minions from Mysterio to remove the evades away from Tigre. And then we are going to clap all the enemies with Vulture. But before that, we are going to do the special of what's his name? Of Shocker. And Shocker or Dr. Octopus are going to get attacked by Coulson. It's not a big deal. And now Vulture with his ultimate is going to delete pretty much half of the enemy team. And after that, you just have to clear up the minions and then clear up Tigre, and you are good to go, pretty much. Okay, let's get as many kills as possible so you have more speed bar advantage. It's still not over. It's still not over. We have to still be careful with Tigre. For some reason, my Kraven is not going. I guess he got deleted right away, because he usually applies ability block to Tigre, otherwise there is a chance that she can kill us. Okay, one death proof gone, another death proof gone, and now it's the time we can finish it off. Let's take a look at another alternative way of beating new Avengers. Once again, 2 million power new Avengers. and this is going to be with nowhere. Now, if you use the standard nowhere team, you are probably not going to be able to beat teams that are 2 million power. If it's like 1.5, maybe you can do, but 2 million power, not as much. And to make this attack safer, we are going to use Quicksilver, because for some reason each of these characters from this team, Cosmo, Korg, Star-Lord, they are all garbage. But the ones that last the most is going to be Cosmo, because he has immunity, and Korg because he revives. And Quicksilver is going to be helpful here because he helps to clear away some of those evades, and Scarlet Witch comes through many times and heal ups the entire nowhere team, which is super convenient. Okay, so here we go. We have Thor smashing. We have a Tigre hard focusing on Quicksilver right away, so this is terrible RNG from the get-go. Thor is still smashing. Quicksilver gets his speed bar reduced, but it doesn't work because he's not affected by it. And now we have Nova being attacked. It's going to be very helpful if your Nova is a striker, just to make sure that he has as much damage as possible, so the enemies focus on him. And now we are going to use the Thor special. You should never use the Thor ultimate, just use his special as often as possible, and you should be able to do it twice during this match. Okay, so now with Quicksilver, we are going to use his special always, and then you just use the basic to clear the town from one of the enemies. Unfortunately, he died, which is fine, and we can heal up still with Scarlet Witch, just to keep her alive. Okay, so we are having some bad RNG here. It's not a big deal. Cosmo still has immunity. The Nova still has his charges, so he's still able to survive a lot of negative effects. And now we want to stun on Tigre, apply tons of negative effects to her and to whoever is behind her. And with Cosmo and Korg, you can finish them off or not. It really depends. At this stage, it doesn't really matter. As long as you can stun Tigre, you should be good to go. Okay, Scarlet Witch finally dies, and now we have Thor together with Nova and Cosmo. And now we are going to use the special once again of Thor. We should be able to, at least, to finish off the enemies. Big ultimate from Nova. Thor still died, which is fine, because now he's going to be able to solo these two guys. And if you would not be able to solo, then Korg will revive and still you'll be able to finish it. And now we have the last counter against new Avengers that I'm going to share with you, which is Undying with Phoenix and Colossus. Once again, the position of the characters is extremely important to reduce the likelihood of your good characters to die. And on top of that, the ISO weight doesn't really matter, so don't worry about it. I would strongly recommend to have a fortified ISO weight on Zombie Juggernaut, Striker also on Zombie Iron Man, and Skirmisher on Hela. But it's up to you. Just make sure you test it out before you tell me in the comments that the team does not work, because you didn't follow the ISO weight, right? But I just have the Zombie Juggernaut because I'm using him in Cosmic Crucible Room 1 as a striker on offense. But like I said, I usually use him as a fortifier because I think that's the best option to go about Zombie Juggernaut. Okay, so here we go. Let's take a look at this team in action, and you'll see why the position of the characters is so strange, right? So they're going to attack Zombie Juggernaut first because he has the highest damage. He's going to have Disrupt, so he can no longer taunt, but Phoenix, she has taunt, and because she's far away from your other characters, she's going to protect your team. Okay, so now we are going to attack with Zombie Juggernaut. We're going to apply Disrupt, Trauma, and Slow to the enemies. With Zombie Iron Man, you have to do the special, not because it's important, but just because you need to speed up the other characters. And with Greg, you want to sacrifice Greg, but make sure you switch the targets around so you apply Blitz to as many targets as possible. Phoenix finally dies, and you want to have Iron Man next to her, because even if he dies, it's not a big deal. Phoenix does not have to survive after she comes from death, so don't worry too much about it. And now Zombie Juggernaut is going to attack the character with the most bleeds, hopefully next to Tigre and to Mockingbird, and you're gonna smash them. Now, if you have Fortifier on your Zombie Juggernaut, he's going to heal up to the max easily, so it's not a big deal. Now he's going to get Focused, no problem, he's gonna get Revive. Phoenix dies, no problem, she already did her job, which was to absorb damage and clear evades from the enemies. The same goes for Colossus. Colossus is just there to absorb damage and get attention from the enemies, and also counterattack the enemies with his retaliation effect to clear as many evades as possible. And now here we go with Ella. We're gonna spread those negative effects, clear more evades away, and finish off as many characters as we can. So now the enemies have no evades, and this is the time where we are going to use the Zombie Iron Man ultimate to destroy the enemies. Zombie Juggernaut with his basic doing a lot of damage. Once again, if you don't have him as a striker, that's fine. Fortifier should be better for his survivability. And now he's blinded, but is this unavoidable? I think it's unavoidable in Alliance Wars, I'm not sure. Let's find out, we have to use it anyway. So there he goes. Iron Man fires his laser, deletes most of the enemies. Once again, spread the bleeds. Make sure that as many characters as possible have bleeds, especially if they are not minions. And finally, we have the Zombie Juggernaut basic to finish off this new Avengers team. Okay guys, so there we go, 5 alternative ways of beating the new Avengers at 2 million power. Make sure you test these teams before you go into the wild in Alliance Wars and use them on your own. It's nice always to have a little bit of practice, and all of these matches were recorded back to back, so the bad RNG, whenever it happened, for example like Quicksilver getting hard focused, I made sure to mention, just because you don't get surprised that something does not work 99% of the time, right? Either way, let me know in the comments below if you have some alternative ways of beating new Avengers, or if you are using the standard teams, and which ones do you prefer? Do you prefer like Full Nowhere or Gamma or Apocalypse or something else? Let me know all of that in the comments below. And as always, if you like the information on these videos, make sure to chat with your friends on Facebook and Discord. If you are new to my channel, make sure to subscribe for more Mouse Strike Force content, and I'll catch you guys later.